Over. Chiefs on a bye, though.
Chiefs didn't play, so we didn't get to.
Right.
That would have been nice to see them. We can kind of do a little early study on.
I already started looking at how you beat Kansas City. That's for later on in the week. But
We'll
yeah, that's kind of how I spent my downtime without the Broncos.
Well, we did see, like I said, the Colts were playing early. The Falcons had them on the ropes. Couldn't, put the finishing touches on there. Turns out it's really hard to tackle Jonathan Taylor.
Couldn't tackle Jonathan Taylor.
He scampers on an 83-yard touchdown, and that was kind of all she wrote there, going to overtime. So you don't get the help from the Falcons. You weirdly got help from the Dolphins, who beat up on the Bills, who absolutely choked away that game. So the Bills continue to look like phonies that they've been for the last few years. Baltimore, New England win again. You get to Sunday Night Football last night, can't get any help that side from the Steelers. Because their quarterback's old and not very good anymore. So really the only help you got was Buffalo losing to Miami. And yes, Buffalo's in a better spot than the Broncos are and looked at as a better AFC team, but you didn't really get the help that we needed. Buffalo needed to lose. Baltimore, we've said it for about a week now. They're dangerous in figuring it out.
Yep.
And New England has now won, 7 in a row for Denver? So 8 in a row for New England, or 6, 7, whatever the number is. They're cooking right now.
Yeah, they're cooking right now, and you're seeing a separation. Now it's week 10. It's going to be week 11. I can't believe that. And in this week, we're going to see separation from the people that have already separated themselves. So if you're the Broncos with your 8-2 record, you've clearly separated yourself from the rest. You have a 94% chance of making the postseason. You're going to the dance. But now is where the separation from the separation happens.
Okay.
Who are truly the elite? The Rams, Seattle, the Colts. Those are the three teams that seem like, uh-oh.
Are you 100% sold on Seattle?
No, because of Sam Darnold.
Okay.
I feel like Sam Darnold, like Marty Netchus, where it's like, okay.
You got to prove it when it really counts.
When it really counts, can you do this? Because you're really good in the regular season, just like Marty. But I want a Marty party when the Avs start making a run at the Stanley Cup. So, like, with Seattle, that's a question mark there. With the Rams, it's not. Although Matthew Stafford, just this week, Matthew Stafford finally got to above 500 as a record.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's because he played for Detroit forever.
In the world of suck for
terrible
10 years. That's actually impressive. But, dude, you're 100% right about the Rams. The Rams they're very well coached. It's a coach that puts his players in a position to succeed, doesn't ask them to do stuff they can't, and they have some serious talent on that.
Well,
roster.
and he's also innovative to what the current trend in the NFL is, and it's one of the keys to beat the Chiefs, so I won't belabor it too much, but Sean McVay plays Puka Nacua as a tight end. Okay?
What do you mean, dude? Sean did that with little Jordan Humphrey.
Sure. Yeah, little Jordan Humphrey, Puka Nacua. A little bit difference of talent there, but I'd like to see some more innovation from Sean, and I'd like to see his quarterback play better.
All right, so if I tell you I have 4 levels of what I believe NFL teams fall into one of these 4 categories.
Okay.
All 32 will fall into this category, or one of these categories. Top is the real deal. You're a top-tier, legitimate Super Bowl contender. I really think there's only 2.5 teams, and you just listed them, and that half is Seattle. Then you go to, or I would go to, good with flashes of great, and you look at right now, should be hosting a playoff game. Is that where the Broncos live? Or the Broncos live on good, not great, and more likely a one and done than to win multiple playoff games. And then the last category is the phony, the fraud, the pretenders. And there's a bunch of teams that will go down there, the Saints, the Panthers, all these teams that we know about. Certainly the Broncos do not live at that level. I will eliminate the bottom level, phony, fraud, pretender. They're not that. You can't be that with an elite defense. But I could probably also eliminate, for me, I'm only speaking for me, and I want you to speak for you, Cease, and I want the tribe to speak for themselves on the text line and in the YouTube chat. I'm taking off the top level as well. They're not the real deal or a top-tier, legitimate Super Bowl contender right here, right now, because of how inconsistent that offense is. So I got to pick what level they live on. Good with flashes of great or good but not great.
Yeah, and it depends on how far you think they can go in the postseason. Are they going to lose the first game? That means good, not great, right? You'll get there, but you can't win when you're there.
Which is not a step in the right direction.
Exactly, and right now, that's where they're at.
It's them running on a treadmill.
Right now. And imagine if the offense had looked consistent, if Bo Nix had looked really good on a weekly basis, we'd be talking about an 8-2 team that's top of the top elite level. How do you stop the offense is going, yeah, Chargers got him on a late field goal, whatever, Colts late field goal, leveraging here, there, whatever.
Yeah.
if only things were different. They have the record, but thank God for that Broncos defense and Vance Joseph, because that's why they have said record. Still time to figure it out, but we need more clues that they are figuring it out. In the last 2 weeks, they've gone in the opposite direction offensively. Bo Nix is going into a shell. He's not trusting his eyes. He's not trusting the plays, not trusting his receivers to get open. So
without that great defense, they're the bottom tier. They're phony fraud pretenders. But think about that. That's how good VJ's side has been.
Yeah.
It can elevate them 2 tiers.
Yes.
Just by them.
I understand. I've seen it in the YouTube chat of like, well, defense wins championships. Yes, but your offense can't suck.
Yeah.
Your offense has to be able to pull their own weight.
There's literally 3 examples of bad offense, good defense winning championships. One of them's our team from 2015.
Raiders-Broncos might have been the worst NFL game in history because of all the punts, very few first downs from both teams. Listen, the Raiders are pathetic, but you barely beat a pathetic team.
Yeah.
That's not what you want for a team that is bound for the playoffs. You've got to get this thing right. And it comes down to Bo Nix playing better football.
Big Al says, if we commit to the run, we're second tier. If not, third tier. Big Al, I think that's spot on. I think you can say, hey, do they commit to the run? Does Sean make it simple for Bo? Does Bo's feet? I think you can simplify it by 2 things. What Big Al did with the run, Sean simplifying things, and the biggest one, the elephant in the room, they can go from this third tier, because they're not phony fraud pretenders. Like I said, you have too good of a defense to be down there. But they could go from a good, not great, to good with flashes of great, or even being a real deal top tier contender if this one thing changes over the next 8 games that come in 9 weeks. Bo's feet. Big Al simplified it down to running the ball. I'm down with that, Big Al. Love that. I'm going to go with Bo's feet. Cecil, if I could fix one thing, and I say, hey, Cecil, I promise you this one thing is going to get better for the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
And that's that Bo's feet are going to be established. He's going to plant and throw. He'll climb the pocket rather than really go to his right, which is what he's done for the majority of the time. And he's going to climb the pocket, the ladder in the pocket, plant that back foot, and throw. If I could guarantee it, like I'm Charles Barkley, they'd be the real deal, top tier, legit Super Bowl contender team that we think they're working towards. They could be that right now if he didn't have 2 left feet.
Well, they could be what Sean Payton said they were going to be. We're going to be a problem. Sean Payton said that. We're going to be a problem. Well, so far, his problem has been his offense on him.
We're going to be a problem.
No. The problem is you and your offense.
No.
It's fitting your narrative. No.
Well, how do you fix Bo? Sean Payton was asked that question this morning on his conference call and said this.
One of his great strengths is not taking sacks. And so the clock in his head relative to that sense of urgency. So I think there is a fine line of, number one, the depth of route. You know, is this a longer developing play, a 7-step drop, a 5-step drop, a 3-step drop, and what should be the appropriate time. But I think that's a much easier problem to correct than the latter, which is taking the sacks, and historically speaking, has proven to be much more difficult to fix.
All right, well, he's right about that, right? If you take sacks, there's a problem. You're seeing ghosts like we've talked about with Sam Darnold before. Now, I like that answer. Why are we, and maybe it's just he hasn't been asked it, and Sean's not going to share anything he doesn't have to share. But to me, Cecil, he's saying, well, a couple things. One, less shotgun. If you're taking 7-step drops, you're not in the shotgun formation.
Right.
And it would also tell me that they either have and Bo's ignoring it, or they have not yet. And I do not believe it's the latter, that they have not. I'm actually team Sean on this. I'm sure Sean has had this conversation. Hey, when you get to that 5th step, he said 5 and 7-step drops. Let's go 5. When you get to that 5th drop, you should be to your 2nd progression. And my routes are timed up like that. Sean's been doing this a long time.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty much a given that he has it as such. So then that would tell me that it's Bo not understanding. 5th step, I'm through my 2nd progression. 7th step, I've gone through all of my progressions, and my options are tuck and run or try to force something, which none of us want Bo Nix to do. So that tells me, Cecil, Sean's doing his part, Bo's not doing his.
Yeah, Bo needs to have better feet because your feet are tied to your route. So that 3rd step is tied to a hitch that your progressions are doing. And that's why when you hit that 3rd step, it should be coming out. if the play has worked and if you're on time. But Bo Nix doesn't allow the play to develop. And his drop back is either too fast or he abandons the play before he even gets a chance for routes to develop. That's why when you break the pocket and nobody's open, it's because they haven't yet made their break and you've already made the decision. You have to trust the plays. You have to trust the play design. And on top of that, and more specifically, you need to trust your receivers that they will be open. A lot of the times in this game, you're thrown to a spot. How many times, go back and watch Peyton Manning and watch him at his best, watch him, not at his best, but watch Peyton Manning. Was he ever throwing because a guy got open, or was he throwing a guy to get open? He was
throwing a guy open.
He was throwing him open because he was throwing to that spot. He was telling you where to go. He could put it on the right shoulder to keep you away from those hospital balls. Like, sorry, Bo, this may be unfair, but be like Peyton Manning. Throw guys open instead of waiting for them to come open. Right now, he's being a see-it-throw-it guy. And damn it, there was one thing he was not at Oregon. He was not a see-it-throw-it guy. See-it-throw-it guys are guys that you have to keep it super simple for because they've got to really trust that they're not going to throw a pick. Bo, you've already said it. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to throw some picks. Okay, you have thrown some picks. You've thrown some bad picks this year. So at the same time, why are you being so cautious that you're not making plays, yet you're still throwing interceptions? If you're making plays and you're on time and on target and you're throwing early, you're throwing as your receiver makes his break or before he makes his break, and you throw some picks, we go, okay, but man, he's balling out. Yeah, pick, whatever. You know, he's not doing that. It's actually the worst of both worlds. Not the best of both worlds,
right?
But the worst of both worlds where he's not being as aggressive as he thinks he is, and then he is also turning the ball over.
It's so much about Bo. Again, I'm not saying Sean is free from blame. I don't think you are either, Cecil. But a lot of this, now that we're seeing it, we're slowing some stuff down. We're learning that cut that Sean just gave us, that Kevin played, that tells me a ton. I can't deny or doubt Sean as the schemer. I have questions about his play calling and in-game adjustments. But Sean's been doing this for as long as some people have been alive that are listening to this show right now. You don't think he's tied his reads and his routes with his quarterback's feet? He's been doing that since he was coaching up Tony Romo back in Dallas 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's been there. Bo needs to adjust accordingly.
I'm going to change his name just because of this show, but Chronic in our YouTube chat says, less Franklin and more Sutton, please.
Amen.
And I say that brother. Like, oh, well, Sutton's double team. We talked to Mike Kliss last week. Well, Sutton gets all these double teams.
Was it 67% of the time?
Yeah, 67% of the time. But, all right, move him around the formation and get him open. Stephon Diggs is covered all the time. Rashee Rice is double covered all the time. Like, all of these number ones for other teams out there. Hey, is Amon-Ra St. Brown double teamed for the Lions?
Probably, yeah.
Does he not get the ball? Is Jamison Williams doing more than Amon-Ra St. Brown? No, the Sun God is balling out. Why? Because you scheme him open.
Yeah.
We got to stop with this whole Troy Franklin thing. It's not working. He can be there eventually as like a really good number two. He's not there yet. You got to go to court. You go to court, you unlock this thing.
I want to share some news, and then we're going to talk about the Nuggets and Avalanche weekend. Unfortunately, this is some bad news to share, and I'm seeing it from the Broncos. Looks like this is out within the last 2 minutes here, Cease. I don't know if this is something you had already known, but they're sharing that inside linebacker Alex Singleton on Friday underwent successful surgery for testicular cancer, which was diagnosed last week. Alex is going to recover well from the procedure. Doctors are optimistic he could return to play football in the coming weeks, pending additional test results. The Broncos say, and I believe we would all agree with this, our number one priority is Alex's health and well-being. We're grateful for it, and appears that the cancer was caught early. Hashtag fight like a Bronco, and then a picture of Alex Singleton there, who's going to be recovering. So like I said, this is about 2 minutes old that the Broncos are sharing with us, and we say it all the time. With life and cancer stuff like this, everybody knows somebody that has been affected by cancer, or perhaps it's yourself that has been affected by cancer. So this is no joke. Football is always secondary to a man's health, to a man's family, and life outside of the game. So, of course, everybody thinking about Alex Singleton here today. Who cares what he was doing as a football player? Now it's about getting right as a human being and being healthy for the rest of your life.
Yeah, fight like a Bronco. I like that. And F cancer, we can all say that. And Schefter tweeted that after a random drug test 2 weeks ago, doctors discovered that Alex had testicular cancerous tumor that they removed the day after Denver defeated the Raiders, so on Friday.
So he got the random, hey, time for a drug test because the NFL tests their players randomly.
Yeah.
And that's what found it.
Yeah.
I don't want to say cool, but that's a really unique way of, like, I'm sure when he got the drug test of, like, oh, I got to go take a drug test. Why? Because I had 10 tackles last night?
Right.
And then that's the result?
Yes.
Again, not cool, but a very unique way.
But it's good that they found that.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes back to your health and service announcement. And I know it's testicular and not colon cancer or whatever, but, like, go get checked up. Go get your colonoscopies. We're all guys. We're meatheads, right? We don't either want to go to the doctor or we don't think like we need to go to the doctor. We think we're all undefeated. We think we're all, like, immortal. It's not the case.
Especially guys. We're just stupid.
Yeah, guys, we're meatheads,
idiots,
okay?
yeah.
So go to the doctor, get your checkups. I'm saying this for myself as well. Like, go make sure that your health is where you want it to be. For yourself, for your family.
I told you when I would turn 35, I went and did the checkup, and the doctor's like, so tell me a little bit about your life. And then I told him about my whole life, and he was like, oh, whoa, we need to talk. And I was like, I thought we were in the trust tree.
It was a trust tree. We're
supposed to
saying
tell you everything, right?
Right.
And then my dad was in town last week, and it was actually, I posed the question when we were golfing that day. I'm like, so tell me a little bit about your dad's dad. I never met the guy, right? Like, what was he like? How was health? And then my dad started telling me some of the stuff, and he's like, yeah, you're about 4 years away from becoming a regular at your doctor. And I was like, oh, looking forward to that. Thanks, Pops.
Well, at least he gave you the heads up, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, Alex Singleton.
We're all rooting for him.
Thinking about you today, man. You, yours, and your family.